Hello, and welcome back to the channel. This is the first of what I hope to be many different creator commentary videos. Videos where I'm going to be going back and looking at the animations I put out on TellItAnimated, and just give you guys a little bit behind the scenes information, little interesting facts about how the video came to be, why I chose that particular subject for the video, and any other information that I get while I'm watching the video. So, for this first video, I'm starting with the first video on my channel, which came out almost 4 years ago, because it came out I think on December 12th in 2017. I probably started working on it and thinking about the idea probably almost exactly 4 years ago till around this time, a little bit after Halloween most odds. So I want to go back and just look at where the channel started, and any information that I think you guys might find interesting. So I'm starting with the origin of the Basset Hound. Now this is a very different video than any video on my channel. I have no other origin of videos, and it's a funny story. The channel was originally called The Origin Of because I really want to do the origin of the Basset Hound. I'm kind of, I don't want to say obsessed with Basset Hounds, but I am. And I want to make a video just kind of like figuring out where they came from, like the species, the breed, because I just love Basset Hounds. I'm not really a dog person, I'm like a Basset person. I don't really get too excited when people have dogs, but if I see someone with a Basset Hound, I get so excited. So I want to do the origin of the Basset Hound. So then I originally thought, I'll do this video. Lester, who I had Lester at the time, he's one of my Basset Hounds, he had an Instagram page and he had like, over 10,000 followers. And I was like, maybe make this video and share on there, get some views, and then maybe I'll do another video on the origin of insert blank. Obviously, that's not where my channel went, because I really didn't want to do origin of Siamese cat, or origin of the shark, or the killer whale, or anything, although those videos might be interesting. But I didn't really want to do them, at least not at that time. So the channel kind of became the evolution of insert blank, and I kind of like pivoted more towards like movie stuff, which is more of a passion of mine. I love watching movies, I love watching TV shows, I love watching franchises, and I love seeing them become just god-awful. And I was like, someone should make videos on that. But this first video is very different because it deals with a subject that isn't a movie character. It's on the Basset Hound. So I guess I want to give you guys a little bit of context about where the channel started before I got to the point where I posted this video. I'm an animator by trade. I went to school for 3 years for animation. I went into 3D animation in my last year, but I focused my demo reel on 2D animation using the same programs that I use on my channel. And I was always really good at those particular subjects, but I was always kind of bad at almost everything else. I was probably like a C or a B- student in most everything. But on Flash, Adobe Flash is the program I use, and Toon Boom is another program that's similar. I always got like hundreds. So I was like, that's always something I'm good at, and it's always kind of how I pivoted my career towards that. And then when it became time to start a YouTube page, I was like, well, I know how to animate, so I want to kind of do that. Now, obviously, I had to do other things outside of animation for my channel. I do a lot of the editing, I put in sound effects, I do the designs. So these are things I'd never really had to do too much of in my career. Oops. But I wanted to make this video, the origin of the Basset Hound, for my demo reel and show that I can do those things, because I had moved across the country. I lived in a big city before, Toronto, and I moved to a much smaller city, and I had a job set up. Now, unfortunately, because of some shenanigans in Hollywood, if you guys know Louis C.K., he's a comedian, he got in some trouble during the Me Too movement, and he was creating a show at the time. I believe I can talk about this now. It was called Cops, and I was supposed to be an animator on it, so I was supposed to start the week I moved out here. And the day I arrive, I get an email saying, hey, don't come in, we're gonna have a meeting on Tuesday. And then I go into the meeting, and we all get fired because Louis C.K. has, harassed some women in Hollywood, or just some stories of him came out. I don't know too much about what happened. I don't want to get in too much detail. Don't want this video to get suppressed or anything. But I lost my job, and I was in a whole new city. I didn't know anybody except for my ex at the time, and we were living together. We had just bought a place, or I had just bought a place, and I was like, well, now I'm out of a job, and I need to make the mortgage somehow. So I went searching for other jobs and stuff in town, but it's a smaller town. There wasn't as many animation studios, so I was kind of stressed out, and I kind of got a little depressed. I was in a new place, I didn't really know anybody. So when it came time to fill my time, I was like, well, I'm really bored. I want to do something with the talent I have. So I was like, maybe I'll create a video about the Basset Hound, and I want to use programs that I haven't used in a little while and add that to my demo reel. At least I can show that to some places around town and update my demo reel. At least for that. So I didn't create a YouTube channel thinking this is going to be my full-time job. I created it thinking this is going to be something nice for my demo reel. So I used programs like Adobe Flash, Adobe Premiere, Adobe After Effects, Adobe Illustrator on this particular video. I kind of haven't used Adobe Illustrator since this video, and I'll point out the same where I used it. Yeah, so I just wanted to kind of show like my skill to somewhere in town. So that's kind of how this video came to be. I wasn't thinking this is going to become a million view video or anything like that. And I believe that I'm not sure this video has crossed a million views yet on my channel. It might be the only one that hasn't, at least only animation video that hasn't. Basically, this video was made out of boredom. But I really like how it turned out, although it's a little bit simple compared to some of my later videos, or like latest videos here. But, you know, I think it still holds up okay. So let's rewatch it now.
The origin of the Basset Hound is traced back to France during the Middle Ages.
Now, one thing you're going to notice is this is a different narrator than any of my other videos. Because Basset Hounds are European in descent, I want to like use a different kind of like European-y kind of accent. So I forget who the person was, but it's in the description of the original video. They also have a YouTube page. You should go say hi to them if you feel so inclined, but I found them on Fiverr, and I think they did a really good job with this narration.
A hunter, St. Hubert, bred dogs that were similar to modern-day bloodhounds. During this time, St. Hubert became a monk and founded a monastery. After his death,
So one thing you're going to notice is that the animation is a bit simpler than a lot of my later videos. Like that gravestone doesn't have much detail on it, although I have used very similar animation for when someone dies in my other videos where they fall over and then the gravestone pops up. Just this gravestone's just kind of like a simple little shape with like writing on it. Doesn't really look like much of a gravestone, but I kind of do like how the dogs look at them there.
Continue to breed hounds, eventually breeding.
Even the people are much more simple in animation. The hands are drawn in a way that I wouldn't really typically do now. I use way less line than I do. Like, I don't use that much line in my videos, but I don't use much line here at all. And the noses are like very just like rudimentary, don't really have much shape to them. They're just like simple teardrops. And the eyes are also just simple ovals as well. Now, some characters that I want to look more cartoony, I do still use that style, but like I use more of a teardrop shape for eyes now and less of the oval.
A short-legged strain of hunting dog, similar to what we now call a Basset Hound. While popular with...
This scene is probably like the most complicated one to do because like run cycles are a little bit annoying. So this one has a run cycle for a rabbit.
Hunters, the Basset wouldn't gain public fame.
Then the Basset,
entered in dog
and then a
shows
hunter.
In the mid-1800s, and they were a hit. As a result,
now I've used that same kind of trick with like the where a crowd pops up and it's just like a shape or a blob, and yeah, it's something I've used for some of my other videos.
Result of becoming so popular, it began being inbred.
That's probably my favorite scene for this whole thing, just like the inbred dog just looking completely ridiculous.
To solve this problem, the Basset was later crossed with a bloodhound, creating the head.
Ooh, and this is a reference to the movie The Fly, which this is kind of like funny that my channel has like moved in this direction of making videos on movies. Is basically these two things are merging into this telepod. At the same time, it's maybe a reference to the Simpsons episode where it's a parody of The Fly. That's probably where I kind of know that story from before I've seen the movies. But yeah, so this is kind of like based on the telepod from the 1986 movie, and just
T-bone
yeah,
and scent-driven breed standard. Its short stature allows the Basset.
And this is the one scene where so the drawing of the Basset Hound was done in Illustrator and then put into After Effects, and then I just put some kind of effect on it and then it kind of drew it, and then I animated the hand in After Effects to follow along to the drawing. So it's this is the only scene that I've ever done where I drew something in Illustrator for any of my videos. I really do not like using Illustrator, so this is kind of a very unique scene for me. And this is also a scene where I've noticed in the I can kind of see when people stop watching the video. This is where they kind of turn off the video, at least like half the people or so. Or like this is where a drop of views happens. So I haven't really done something like this. I don't usually have something so static for so long. Although I like that I did something a little different in this video.
The ability to keep its amazing sniffer to the ground, and its long ears help to waft the scent towards the nose. Not surprisingly, the Basset Hound is a perfect on-foot hunter. The Basset Hound...
And yeah, that was just showing different things that they hunt. They're known for like hunting hares, like rabbits and squirrels and like small game like that. They're not like bloodhounds where they can go for longer. Bassets are pretty lazy. They can go for a couple hours, but like they're not going to be hunting for like 10-hour days or anything like that.
Coat is short and oily, and is usually tri or bicolor.
And yeah, the effect where it's this like kind of like shaking around like that, that's another After Effects thing, although this was still animated in Adobe Flash. I just added that little effect into it in After Effects just to give it a little bit more motion. And like again, this is kind of a bit more, I don't want to say boring, but this is a bit more rudimentary than some of my later videos.
Brown, white, tan, black, or lemon being the most common. The Basset Hound has earned a place in popular culture as well.
I always like this little part. It's kind of cute with him wearing like the leather jacket and the sunglasses. But yeah, again, this kind of static for a very long time. Something I tried to avoid now. Trying to like put more animation on screen all at once to give more information to people. But this works for what this video is.
Breed has been featured on the cover of Time magazine and is well known as the mascot for the company Hush Puppies. It has also been seen in multiple movies.
And yeah, and this is also one of the few videos I think where I've actually used like movie clips within it. And you can actually even see like the lower thirds over here. That's something that I've used. Let me see, I can't remember how that came in there. Let me see.
It has also been...
Yeah, the same way. The same way that one comes in is the same way that it comes in the later videos when like in Friday the 13th, it'll like pop in like going that way. And then the little like symbol will pop up and then it shows the year of that show or that movie. So like that's kind of funny that this uses that same idea.
Seen in multiple movies and TV series, both cartoon and live action. But the best place for Basset Hound could possibly be found.
And these two characters, well, they're not exactly based on me and my ex, but they're kind of like made to like be like generic people who would get a Basset Hound. So they kind of look like me and my ex, but not 100%, just like generic people. And then I'm not sure why I didn't add color to the girl nose here. It's just a line. I mean, I thought that the color made them look a little bit funny if you're a female, but who knows.
In your home. With its happy disposition and outgoing nature, the Basset Hound is a perfect family dog with much love to give.
The quality of this video is just straight from like an iPhone 6, I think, so it's just not the best, but it works fine for 2017 when this video came out. It's just a little bit, a little janky. So here it is. The General Space did the narration for this video, and then because I was trying to use this as a demo reel thing, this is the only one that has my email and my official website. I now have a TellItAnimated.com and a TellItAnimated email. These are my actual animation emails, or like my actual emails that I would use to like try to get a job or something. And then, yep, script design and animation, all my videos say that. And then the music, it was from a site called Hook Sounds. I really like this music actually. I wish I didn't use it in this one because I almost want to use it in like one in the future, but I like to use different music in each one of my videos. And then yeah, so just go say, if the General Space still has a YouTube channel, go say hello to him and follow Lester on Instagram. This was also trying to be used as a way to promote his Instagram. So it was kind of being used to promote myself and my dog. But I did like this little clip of him like sniffing and eating treats on the bottom of the floor. But man, Lester looks so thin in this video. He has put on some weight. He is rough looking now. But I guess he's only like a year old when this was taken. Now he's like almost 5 years old. But oof, he's got to lose some weight. And that's the first video. After this one, I kind of changed direction on my channel and I didn't really want to do what I was doing anymore. This video, like it got like maybe like 10,000 views in the first week. I shared it on his Instagram page. I shared it on some Facebook Basset Hound pages that I follow, but it was taken down by some of them. They're like, don't use self-promotion. I was like, guys, it's a 1.5-minute video that I worked like 100 hours on. Let me share it. And people were really liking it, but they got taken down from some of them. I think it's like now close to 1 million views. Sorry, you might hear my dog barking right now. But yeah, either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this creator commentary video. And I'm Aaron, and I'll tell you something later.